Hello, my name is Daniel Jolly. Student ID is U1015803, and this is my assignment answering the question, how might education mediate difference and dominance? My topic is a hotly debated one. It's both politically and socially. It's the issue of boat people. The event of the boat crash off the coast of Christmas Island late last year has brought the issue to the media's attention again. One of the main focuses of at least the last two elections has been whether Australia should let people arriving on boats into the country or not. This exemplifies the fact that it is a rather torn issue amongst the Australian people, whether or not to let boat people arriving to Australia seeking refuge into the country. While the debate of whether they should be allowed in the country or not continues, living in somewhat of a democratic society, the actions of the Australian government should reflect the majority opinion of the Australian people. A real concern is whether the majority of Australian people have perceptions and stereotypes of boat people that may influence political decisions. Most of the arguments towards the negative seen in the media and in social situations consist of notions of boat people being poor, breaking the law, being terrorists, not speaking English, and in general they are demonising boat people almost to the point of being subhuman. The notions tend to push boat people into the extremes of the individual's zone of difference. They are seen as so different that they are outside the boundaries that could function as part of Australian society. The positive, and what I would consider a more realistic view, is much more compassionate. The positive tries to connect boat people with a hegemonic Australian identity, treating them as humans with similar ideals and beliefs to Australians, that boat people are struggling against adversity and that they should be given a fair go. The argument that any white Australian or their ancestors was an immigrant also helped to make this zone of difference smaller and make Australians sympathise with the plight of these people. In a role of an educator trying to mediate difference and dominance, I would first make sure I understand where the perceived difference lies within the students I am teaching. My likely target group of students would be around secondary school age, grade 8 through to grade 10, and predominantly white from lower middle class families. Using an event to initiate the lesson, I would draw heavily on the Christmas Island boat crash in December 2010, as the media and news reports have shown more of a compassionate view of the event compared to other boat arrivals. To mediate, I would have to understand the reasoning from every side of the issue and explain each side in an unbiased manner. I would structure the first part of the lesson to simply measure the students' current understanding of the topic. My aim of the lesson would be to make the students recognise how they view people and cultures that are different to theirs, and to make sure they don't view difference as being less than what they consider normal. I would start the first task as a group activity, where students would comment on what they currently think about certain aspects surrounding the issue of boat people. This would help to gauge the students' current perspective, as well as get them reflectively thinking about their own understanding. Working as a group can help bring out various points of view on this topic. I would display these aspects using several key terms in the boat people issue, words that may invoke stereotypical views or an imagery of a national identity. I would particularly use the term Australian or Australian spirit and discuss what it means to the students to be Australian, and discuss how the perceived imagery that exists with the idea of Australia as a multicultural society. Having this as a group activity, while good at identifying similarities and creating ideas, it does have the potential to marginalise some members of the class. I would follow this activity with a differentiated individual task of researching a relevant nation and their culture. What I would like the students to draw from the event and the broader issue is a sense that we are all people that share similarities and that our differences are something to be celebrated, not condoned. And that was my assignment for EDC1200 on how education can mediate difference and dominance. Thank you for watching.